Hey guys, finishing with a great list of questions here for your last week on your 42-day health solution. Now, first question came, and this is one that I really like, and I like it was asking how, okay, if I can't get my feet on the ground like this, barefoot in the winter, then what do I really do to help get that energy? And biggest thing is still get outside. Hey, go up to the trees, to the rocks, everything. Being surrounded by nature is still going to give a great energy lift, give you that great feedback, that very grounding feeling for you. Other thing is getting natural bottom shoes, whether they be leather bottom, natural rubber bottom. That's why I'm a fan of Birkenstocks, because they have cork, but a natural rubber layer. It's not like a synthetic rubber that doesn't conduct any of the ground's energy. It actually is allowed to pick it up and transmit it up through your feet and through your body. So those are just some good options for you. Now, a lot of other questions like, what is the best time of day to meditate? And the answer to this one is whenever you'll do it, whenever it fits into your schedule. Now, I personally like as the sun, within about an hour before or after sunrise and sunset, because you're going to get strongest energies from the sun, especially if you're doing it outside, something like that. But again, if the only time you're going to be able to do it is 11:30 a.m., well then that's when you do it. It doesn't matter. Just biggest thing, making sure that you're doing it. How about like minimum effective dose? What is the least amount of meditation that I can really get by with? And that's why I've even shown you guys the 1 minute meditation. It can be anything, whether it's just closing your eyes, taking just deep breath in and out, just getting mindful, focused, meditating for that 1 second, or doing it for an hour. You have to find what works for you, and that's going to be the biggest thing. Now, is more going to be better? Well, not necessarily. If you're not really in it, then you're better off doing it for a second than an hour, depending on how really truly laser-like focused you are with it. So if you meditate daily, how long will it take until you get really good at doing so? And this again kind of comes down to the individual. How much is your brain racing? You're just going crazy with stuff versus, all right, I got this, pretty good to go. 10 days, 20 days, a day, whatever it may be. But one thing is actually, it's called a gong. And this is used in like Tai Chi, Qigong, where it's 100 days of straight practice. And this is a really cool thing that they use to measure. Like, if you go 99 days and stop, well, you got to start over. That's it. No, you got to go those 100 days is really accepted as you've really learned what you're doing. You're really in on this. And that's where doing the 100-day gong, I think, is an excellent commitment. I've done several of them with my Tai Chi, with other practices that I do. And it really does make a difference. You can feel the difference in energy and focus being able to do so. So it is like, so I searched the internet and found several different types of meditation and which is the best. And this again comes down to, well, which one are you going to do? Which one do you enjoy? There is no good, better, best. It's what's best for you. So try them out, but give them a shot. Don't just do it for a day or two and be like, I don't like this. I mean, maybe if you just don't, then sure, just don't do it. But give it a little bit, because you're not going to necessarily know. Again, this comes down to how long does it take? Well, that depends on you. Or maybe, hey, take a year, do 100 days of each. I mean, you're coming up on close to a year there, and see what works. You're going to know after those 100 days really what you enjoy, what you like to do. So give that a try. So heard it's helpful to do at the same place, the same time, like every day. Is this true? And yeah, if this is my spot in the woods where I come to meditate every day, this is where I come to do my mindfulness practice, my Tai Chi, yeah, that's the best spot. Sorry, Rufus is getting a little antsy here. Yes, that is absolutely the best spot, best time to do that. I like to do mine first thing in the morning, same spot every single time. That's what works best for me, because now I have that association. Everything is built into that. And that's what I really needed to get into that focus, get into that practice, because it's that much easier to just get set doing so. I'm just, hey, I'm in my spot. I know what time it is. Go. So what is the difference between meditation and mindfulness? Well, I think meditation falls into the mindfulness practice. Mindfulness is just any type of state of consciousness, awareness, where you know where you're at, what's going on. So I can be mindful as I'm taking a walk in the woods. I can be mindful when I'm lifting weights. I can be mindful when I'm cooking dinner. Those aren't necessarily types of meditation. Meditation, I mean, there are a lot of different forms, but it's usually thought of as a specific type of that mindfulness practice. So, there's good and bad stress, and I thought all stress was bad. Like, that's the question. So what is the difference? Well, eustress and distress, so good and bad stress. An example can be the sun. So sunlight can both be a good stressor and a bad stressor. It's a good stressor from the standpoint of without it, we're dead. This green isn't going to happen. Our plants aren't going to grow. Nothing is going to be able to survive. We're going to be freezing cold without it. We're going to literally just die within minutes. However, on the other standpoint, if you just get sun and you're just burning yourself to a crisp day in, day out, year in, year out, that's going to cause a lot of problems. Remember, you're damaging the skin now. You don't want to be able to do that. So you have to find that good and bad. But that goes for all the things we've talked about, like the chemicals, the foods. There's lots of different good and bad stressors for all of the above. What is the difference between stress and anxiety? So stress, again, can come in all of those different forms. Anxiety, I see it as being more in your mind, being very anxious, being very nervous almost, but it's this heightened state of things. It's more of a physical, like a mental thing, but stress, again, can be physical, emotional, spiritual. It could be food, it could be air, like all of these different things can be good and bad stressors. So can meditation help with a stressful situation? Yes, it can. But again, that depends where your meditation and mindfulness takes you with that. Can it amplify it and make it worse? Yes, if you focus on it negatively, but you can also take that positively. So here we come again, that in the mind, that good and bad stressor again. So difference between good and bad stress with chemical reactions within the body. So this is what hormones are. So again, a good stressor is cortisol, adrenaline. If something comes up and attacks me right now, that's a good stressor because I need that fight or flight to get on out of here. However, if I'm getting ready for bed and I have all the lights on in the house and all this blue light is just hitting me like crazy and all my cortisol levels are still jacked up and my melatonin's not going up, then that's a bad stressor. So again, it depends on timing here as well. So the good stressor though is that opposite. That's that melatonin, which we want to start rising later in the day as the sun's going down, the blue light's going down, the red lights, amber lights, orange lights, whatever are all coming up. So that's going to cause that calming effect. And this allows growth hormone and testosterone to be released so that we're able to recover at night. So how does diet affect stress? It does. Think about it. Are you eating good, clean food or are you eating crappy, just processed junk? It's going to be simple. So thinking about it, how is that going to stress me out? Well, if I'm not eating the good stuff, it's going to cause a bad stress. If I'm eating the good stuff though, it causes a good stress. Again, allows my body, stress is still that body recovering, repairing, releasing all the good hormones again. So when stressed, what foods should I either specifically eat or which foods should I stay away from? And it doesn't really change much. It still needs to be what is best for you. So we've talked about like the elimination foods. Those are going to still be ones you're going to want to stay away from. You don't want to keep ingesting those. But if you're stressed and you need a little bit more because you're burning through some extra calories, hey, maybe it's a good whack of fat that you need. Maybe it's some extra greens. But again, it could be maybe an extra like nice grass-fed burger, something like that. It's very tough to say because it's so person dependent. I know when I'm more stressed out, I need some fat. That's what I like. That's what helps me out. So that's what I make sure to do. It's simple as that. Foods to watch out for though, especially ones that aren't necessarily an elimination but can cause a lot of other problems. Any type of caffeine, because this is still going to be jacking up cortisol levels. But you got to be aware of that because now it's going to cause a lot more distress in the body probably than that eustress. So that we don't want the good stress. We want to create the bad stress. And then the other thing is any food you're intolerant to. So any food if you still get mucusy, phlegmy, you just get foggy headed, tired, these are all going to be foods that are causing you problems as well. And the last one was, how about supplements for stress? What can I take? Well, this is tough because this depends on what the stressor is. So if the stressor is you can't sleep at night, well, we've talked about some of the top supplements for sleep. So go back, check those out. That's going to be good. Other things that I like just in general for stress are any adaptogenic herbs. These are all good ones that help deal with a stressful situation. I'm a big fan. I like ashwagandha, I like rhodiola, so certain things like that. There are others that I'll use, but I use them more specifically, like licorice can be something that can be used. But again, it has to have much more specific applications. Same thing like with Tribulus terrestris. Like all of these can be very good, but have to be moderated what they're used for. As far as other ones, again, just things that give you a calming effect in types of where you're in a heightened stressor. But again, really the biggest thing is good quality food, getting your sleep, getting your mindfulness, practicing meditation practice, whatever you want to do. All these things are going to be great for helping to calm down that stress. Making sure you're getting outside. Again, whether it's wintertime, whether it's summertime, spring, fall, doesn't matter. Get outside. Get your feet dirty if you can. Get your hands dirty if you can. If not, surround yourself with nature, with the trees, with the rocks. It's all going to help with any of the stressful situations that you may encounter.